Hello and welcome, or should I say hej och välkommen to Stockholm Central Station. Today we're taking a ride on Sweden's X2000 high-speed train in first class as we ride down to Malmo. Our journey begins at Stockholm Central Station, Stockholm's main railway hub. First opened in 1871, Stockholm Central is the largest railway station in Sweden. Stockholm serves as a major station for SJ high-speed, inner-city and long-distance services, VR Snabbtåg Sverige high-speed trains, the Arlanda Express Airport Railway, Mälartåg commuter services, and Snabbtåget inner-city trains. Connections are also available to the Stockholm Metro and commuter rail networks through the attached stations T-Centralen and Stockholm City respectively. Passing through the main entrance, passengers find their way into the main waiting hall. At 119 meters long and 28 meters wide, the waiting hall houses many shops and restaurants, the departure board, and seating for waiting passengers. We'll be taking SJ Snabbtåg number 537, a high-speed train with a scheduled departure time of 14:21 from track 13. The waiting hall wasn't always the waiting hall. Between its opening in 1871 and 1925, the space housed the platforms of the then terminus station. In 1925, the tracks were moved west and the train shed converted to the waiting area we see today. With our first class ticket today comes a few premium amenities, the first of which is found at the south end of the station, the SJ Lounge. The SJ Lounge is a large, quiet facility with free Wi-Fi and plenty of comfortable seats, tables, and information screens throughout. The best part of the lounge is, of course, the free food. The selection today is a bit on the lighter side, the snacks aimed to soothe one's appetite before departure. The food options rotate throughout the day, and it's not uncommon to see more substantial offerings closer to breakfast or lunch. There's also complimentary coffee, tea, and juice, with sodas available for a small fee. SJ lounges are available in Stockholm, Gothenburg, and Malmo, and are open to first-class passengers with same-day tickets. There are a few other ways to enter the lounge outside of a first-class ticket, so be sure to check SJ's website for reference. Stomach full and departure time approaching, it's time to head out to the platform. As is the case with many large stations, Stockholm is alive with trains coming and going every which way. First to show up are two Mälartåg Stadler Dostå EMUs. Designated as ER1, these EMUs are 4-car variants of Stadler's highly popular KISS EMUs. Down at the other end of the platform, it's time for our train to be pulled out of the yard for service down to Malmo. This is an SJ X2000, a high-speed tilting train built by ABB. Referred to as the X2, these trains serve as the backbone of SJ's high-speed rail service, connecting Stockholm with major cities like Gothenburg, Malmo, and Copenhagen. The dark gray livery of the arriving train means this is a refurbished train, which includes all new interiors, better seats, and increased capacity. We'll be traveling in Car 1, Seat 34, a window seat in the first-class coach. As we get settled in, let's take a quick look at our route down to Malmo. Our journey begins heading south out of Stockholm, passing just south of Södertälje before following the E4 to Norrköping, Linköping, and Mjölby. The tracks then head due south through the center of Sweden, our high-speed train making quick work of the tight curves of the mainline railway. Our stops in Nässjö, Alvesta, and Hässleholm come and go as we carve our way through the Swedish countryside. Lund is our penultimate station on our ride south, our X2000 pulling to a stop at Malmo Central Station at the end of the line. We'll cover a total of 318 miles on our ride today, with a travel time of 4 hours and 31 minutes. Departure from Stockholm is right on time. Our train crosses through Gamla stan and under Södermalm as we pick up speed out of the city. Now, you'll notice throughout the video that the seats and perspectives change more than they should. This is because our assigned seat has a wall in place of a window and is facing backward. I spoke with the crew on board and they mentioned I could sit wherever so long as I vacate the seat when the assigned passenger arrives. First class on the X2000 is operated in a 2x1 with a static half-and-half layout of forward and rearward facing seats. First class seats offer a rather limited 5 to 6 inches of pitch, though there's plenty of space beneath each row. Each seat includes an elastic mesh pocket and large tray table, which can be extended for increased table space. Two coat hangers are found beside the seat, a window blind built into the wall of the car. Rows of 2 seats are given cup holders between the next seats, a secondary mesh pocket, and 2 outlets built into the seat back. There are 2 more outlets found beneath each row for a total of 4, more than enough to keep everything plugged in on long journeys. Each row includes a trash bag holder along the wall to reduce littering on board. Although there isn't a ton of legroom, the seats more than make up for it. They are super comfortable with thick, luxurious cushions, leather accents, and winged headrests. All seats on the refurbished X2000s are motorized, with button controls found in the center armrest. It's also here where you'll find the light switch for the overhead reading lights. The interiors of these trains are beautiful. The modern lighting, clever contrast of colors, and warmth developed throughout makes it incredibly easy for passengers to relax and enjoy the ride. These interiors are so beautiful, in fact, that they're award-winning. In 2020, the refurbished X2000s were awarded a Red Dot Design Award, with the jury complimenting the train's harmonized colors, elaboration and detail, and new lighting concept, creating a peaceful ambiance on board. A lot of this beauty stems from SJ's refurbishment of the X2000s. In 2014, SJ announced they would be investing 3.5 billion SEK in the renovation of the X2000s, despite them already being 24 years old. The refurbishment plans extended their service life by another 20 to 25 years instead of purchasing new trains. The refurbishment includes an all-new interior with modern lighting, a redesigned cafe car, more functional toilets, and wheelchair spaces, among a host of other improvements. And of course, the Wi-Fi saw a major bump too, with the addition of a 5G-based system. One of the greatest design aspects of the X2000 is their ability to tilt up to 6.5 degrees. Sweden's railways are full of curves, and the best way to increase top speeds without building full-on high-speed railways is to build trains that can tilt. The tilting system allows the X2000s to travel around the sharp curves of the main line 15% faster than non-tilting trains. Seeing this tilting in action is insane. I'm doing my best to keep the camera level here as we carve through the curves. The many tight curves means the train is constantly tilting back and forth, and when combined with the banking of the railway, or super elevation for you nerds out there, it's not uncommon to see close to 10 degrees of tilt to the horizon. Tilting is one thing, but tilting at speed is another. X2000s are rated for a service speed of 200 km an hour or 125 miles per hour, all while tilting back and forth through the frequent curves of the Swedish main lines. At the rear of our car, first-class passengers will find complimentary tea, coffee, and water, fresh fruits, and some smaller sweets. Coffee and sweets in hand, we sit back down to enjoy the beautiful Swedish countryside roll by outside our window. The fresh fruit and sweets aren't the only onboard food options we'll have today. When booking my ticket, I purchased a meal for our journey for 145 SEK, or about $14 US. Meal options on board include a meat, fish, vegan, or gluten and lactose-free dish, all for 145 SEK, or a prawn sandwich, salad, or wrap for a bit cheaper. I chose today's meat, which turns out to be a lentil and quinoa salad with pulled chicken and garlic sauce, paired with a carrot salad and mung bites, and a carrot cake for dessert. Starting off with the carrot salad, it's light and savory alongside the crunchy and slightly sweet mung bite. The main course of chicken and quinoa salad certainly wasn't what I was expecting, but it's definitely tasty. The salad greens, quinoa, and lentils are all very fresh, the chicken tender, and the garlic sauce savory but tame enough to not overpower everything with garlic. To go with our main course is a side of 2 crackers and butter, but I found that even with the butter, these were pretty much inedible. The carrot cake, on the other hand, is delicious. It's light, moist, and sweet, the cream cheese frosting pairing wonderfully with the cake below. Norrköping is our first of 7 intermediate stops. Normally, this is a fairly uneventful stop, but today we're treated to a bit of Swedish railway history. As we pull into the station, we stop alongside 3 Y7 diesel rail buses, manufactured in the late 1950s. These 3 beautifully preserved units are owned by Svenska Motorvagnsklubben, who offer excursion trains with rotating units every couple of months. As mentioned earlier, one of the great improvements seen in the refurbishments is improved Wi-Fi connectivity. Connecting to the network is incredibly easy, and the speeds are quite respectable with 22.21 megabits per second download. Bathrooms on X2000s are located in the vestibules between cars, with an accessible toilet located in car 7. The regular bathrooms are pretty much the same as what you find on an airplane, but scaled up by about 15%. The countertop includes a sink, soap dispenser, and paper towels, above which is a large mirror, and below which is the toilet and toilet paper. Although they're technically refurbished, they're pretty much identical to the older bathrooms, just with some minor signage changes. Car 2 on X2000 sets is the second-class Calm car. A new service class to high-speed trains in Sweden, the Calm car is a dedicated quiet car with a few extra benefits. Passengers booking tickets here are asked to keep their noise down while in transit, creating a calm environment on board. Calm tickets also include free coffee and tea in the bistro, and a small complimentary breakfast for departures before 9 a.m. This is also a great opportunity to look at the X2000 second-class seats. Seat pitch is identical to first class, or really first class is about the same as economy, with 5 inches of legroom. Speaking of identical to first class, so too are the seat back pocket and tray table. The seats are motorized with the same switch for overhead reading lights. The only major difference is seat width, which comes down a few inches from first class to accommodate the 2x2. The seats are still incredibly comfortable, and I would be more than happy to spend a few hours here for the reduced cost. Continuing down the train, we pass through the first bit of actual second class seating before arriving at the bistro. The bistro includes a great selection of food and drinks, all at very reasonable prices. There's anything from light snacks and drinks to alcoholic beverages and full-on meals of red curry or traditional Swedish meatballs. The old bistro cars also included a bit of booth seating, however that section has been removed in exchange for more seats. Taking the train is always a fantastic way to see any country. Lakes, forests, rolling hills, and farmland roll past our window as we cruise south.
Connecting train bound for Kalmar with SJ regionaltåg, Warszawa 1838 from track 1B. Next stop, Stockholm.
While the X2000 is a Swedish train, it saw tours in use outside of Sweden on multiple occasions. The first and most notable of these came in 1992, when none other than Amtrak leased an X2000 for use and testing on the Northeast Corridor. With the turn of the century just beyond the horizon, Amtrak was looking to upgrade service on the Northeast Corridor. With new fast trains in mind, Amtrak went looking to Europe for inspiration. Developed to cope with the many curves of the main lines throughout Sweden, the X2000 was a great benchmark for service along the older and ever-evolving Northeast Corridor. Amtrak ran the X2000s for many months, first in test runs and then in revenue service to gauge support for the high-speed trains. Amtrak also imported a German ICE train set for high-speed testing during a similar time frame. Amtrak's final plan was to combine the best features from both trains into a first-generation high-speed train. ABB and Siemens, manufacturers of the X2000 and ICE respectively, bid on the contract. Amtrak ultimately chose Bombardier and Alstom, makers of the highly successful French TGV, which turned into the Acela fleet we see today. The X2000 saw use on 2 other continents as well. First in Australia in 1995 when 3 cars were trialed by CountryLink, and then in 1998 when a full 7-car train set was sold to Guangshen Railway in China. That train set operated until 2007 when high maintenance costs and an earthquake forced the Guangshen Railway Company to sell the train set back to Sweden. The miles tick by as we continue south at 125, the sun slowly sinking towards the horizon as we make our stops in Alvesta and Hässleholm. Now, ticket prices are often a point of contention when opting for higher levels of service. For our journey to Malmo, I paid 1,555 SEK, or a little over $153 US. This might be a bit expensive, but I enjoy the extra space and comfort of first class. If you're looking to save a bit, second class calm costs about 70 SEK less than first, and regular second class about 140 SEK less. Prices, of course, vary greatly depending on the day, time, and how far in advance you book. For instance, first class tickets may only be 80 SEK more than second class on some trains, while others may have a 250 SEK difference. Personally, I found first class worth the upgrade, especially with the recently refurbished interiors. Given that the price difference over second class is often modest, it's frequently worth the upgrade. Lund is the penultimate stop for trains heading south, the stop just 11 minutes away from the terminus in Malmo. The arrival announcements soon begin playing over the PA system, our train slowing to a stop at Malmo Central Station. I hope you've enjoyed our ride on Sweden's original high-speed train. The X2000 is a fantastic train set, and the refurbishment has done a wonderful job in giving these trains another breath of life. With our journey now at an end, it's time to bring today's video to a close. Next week we'll be in Tokyo for a Grand Class ride on the Tohoku Shinkansen's Hayabusa up to Sendai. If you're new around here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button down below. It's totally free and it really helps support the channel. I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to my patrons and members. Y'all are amazing and your incredible generosity is greatly appreciated. If you too want your name in the video or just want to support the channel in more ways than one, then head on over to the links in the description below. But anyways, that's all I have for today. Thanks for riding with me, and I'll see you in the next one.